Okay, y'all, so happy birthday to me, but it is a serial killer that I want to talk about that I share a birthday with. And his name is Joseph Roy, I think it's pronounced Mathers, but okay. Joseph was born in Baltimore, Maryland, March 2nd of 1955. He was one of 6 children, but unfortunately he grew up with an alcoholic father who eventually passed away in a car accident and a mother who was addicted to heroin. After his father's passing, they eventually put him and all his siblings in foster care, and when he turned 18, he enlisted in the military. Now, according to him, there's not any documents to prove that, but he fought in the Vietnam War. Not going to lie, in some of the things that he said, he kind of exaggerated. So yes, he's a serial killer. Yes, he served in the war, but it's like he would exaggerate and say, oh, I killed almost 400, 500 people, or oh, I served in big wars. Like, you know, he would exaggerate. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, he enlisted in the military. He served for about 2 years, 2.5. The money that was used for his heroin addiction. He was addicted to heroin and crack cocaine. So eventually, a couple years or a couple months after doing that, he eventually married and had a child, in which his wife then became addicted to heroin and she left him for another man. He had bought a trailer for his family to blossom in, and one day when he got home from work, his trailer was still there, but his child or his wife was in it and none of his belongings. In which, when she left for this other man, that man eventually forced her into prostitution, and him and her were also addicted. So their child ended up, well, her and Roy's child ended up in the foster system as well. So one day he set out to go find his wife and their child. But like I said, his child had already been taken away. And when he got to the bridge that his wife and her new boyfriend were sleeping under, they were nowhere to be found. But he then seen the horrid sights that they had been living in, the smelly mattresses, the trash and all that. And so he just let it go. Well, he really didn't let it go, but he just took a pause. So he then seen 2 other people under there, and he chose to get high with them. Their names were Randall and Randy. I don't know if they were related. I don't know if they're brothers, but I mean, they had to be somewhere because they have close to the same name. He noted that after he had got high with them, he had killed them, and in his words, he chopped them into pieces. He then went and found a prostitute that knew his wife, or should I say ex-wife, and he got her high in order to scout information out. So this first prostitute was not giving him any information. So this angered him, in which he essayed her, asphyxiated her, and threw her in a nearby bush. And not long after that, he had scouted a second prostitute. So the second prostitute that he scouted, the same thing ended up happening to her. A fisherman was nearby, and Metheny had got spooked because he thought this fisher had seen him. So he went over to him and he smashed his skull. So like I said, he left the first victim in the bush, but he tied the prostitute and the fisherman together using bricks and put them in a nearby river. So y'all, he later went on to kill a woman named Catherine Mag.